Welcome back, everyone, to the North American Challengers League, presented by Subway. I'm Mazel. I'm joined by Joshi, and what a game one we had, my friend. Are you hanging in there? You doing all right?
Look, I'm going to be bald at the end of this. Like, geez, that was... there was a lot going into that one, and I feel as though both teams tried to be too cute in that game. It ends up being like, this is kind of Mirage Alliance's wheelhouse, right? They love playing games that are a little too cute. We know RGS, he caught out way too many people with the Nico ultimates off of using, just different disguises, finding themselves in unusual places. That's something that we know RGS likes to do. He really likes to be cute with a lot of these angles. But then Team Liquid would go for these fights like, guys, let's just go back to basics, play the front to back. It is an unlosable front to back, I promise you. And they're like, oh, but what if we flanked 3 people instead? And it's like, guys, come on, you have the Orianna, please.
I love it because Jenkins was just like on the verge of ending the game all game long. It just didn't matter because they were consistently taking fights on the other side of the map.
Yeah, exactly. Because Jenkins had the pressure on the other side, it is the rest of the team's job to either create pressure by grouping up or just like getting waves pushed, and you cannot give things. It is okay to like back up and let Alarm like constantly be looking for these engagements as long as you don't give them. And that was the thing that really hurt them. His team Liquid was like, oh, this guy caught out, kill him. And it's like, oh, but that is Alistar. Oh wait, we can't kill him. Everyone out. No. Abort. It's like, guys, I want to see Team Liquid Challengers return to their fundamentals, because we know that they're all individually talented, but they have clearly skipped some steps in order to actually get to their spots. And Mirage Alliance, I also think they actually did a really good job this game of turning things around and actually looking a lot more coordinated than we've seen them a lot of times in the past. Even though Alarm gave up so much in the side lane, he was constantly creating pressure, and it worked out for them because they're like, well, we are now committed to trying to fight.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for me for Mirage Alliance, they were actually making holistic plays after 20 minutes, right? And I think that's something we know that they can get leads, and we saw that. Will had 2 kills early on in the game, and I think all in all, our focus on Keel versus Will was rightfully placed, right? They were 2 extremely core components to how a lot of the fights were maintained.
Keel won the 1v1.
Keel won the 1v1. I will just say that Will won the everything else, because that man had a ton of kills. That's true. And he was the resets over and over again, getting shutdowns left and right. So I think the continued focus on that matchup is super important, but how the meta now plays out, especially going into the next game, because again, to refocus on it, this series is almightily important for both these 2 teams. And I think moving forward, especially with our Fearless, and hopefully we'll actually be able to take a look at some of those bans that are going to be here, but it does change up your factors, right? Viego no longer available for Will. Yes, a lot more skirmish junglers still available there, but something to think about where Keel's wheelhouse is untouched. You've taken a little bit of dust off of one of the trophies, and there's a bunch left to choose.
Yeah, I also do want to point out that, now that Mirage Alliance has won Game 1, they have a very natural path. I don't want to say easy path, but a path that they can find their way to playoffs at the end. Whereas Team Liquid, after this, they would have to play Maryville University and then Lit. And I think Lit is attainable for them, but based on the way the Team Liquid Challengers and Maryville have been playing, Maryville should absolutely win that series. And so this is incredibly important for Team Liquid Challengers to turn it around. They have a lot of tools still in their wheelhouse, and they will be on blue side, so they should naturally be getting the Varus or at least some other priority pick for their bottom lane.
I think that will be extremely important, at least for them to get some stability down there. But also maybe looking at some of this mid lane matchup and seeing if you can get any ups, I guess, against RJS. Because RJS had a much more impactful game number 1, I feel like, than Roamer did. Even though we did see a couple big key moments from Roamer. The Pop Blossoms make the biggest difference when you can find multi-mans every single time. And that was like the big focus we had for their team composition. So maybe keeping that kind of style is good. I love to see that Mirage Alliance, again, were able to close out a game where we've seen them falter so many times before. And not saying they didn't falter in this one. Both teams did a little bit. But I think we're starting to see some of that competitiveness be born into positivity, I feel like, for Mirage Alliance.
Yeah. And it's definitely interesting. I'd be really curious to go back and ask. I did have a little bit of chance to talk to Will during the week, but I didn't ask like what his expectations were of this split. And as we jump into the draft here, you have to know that the expectations for Mirage, who were, thrown together a little bit last minute with a new player coming in, basically as the season was starting, their expectations should not have been as high as the Team Liquid Challengers expectations were. But now that we do see the Senna coming in for the side of Team Liquid Challengers, it does give them a lot of opportunities to, again, try and play this front-to-back style that kind of eluded them last game.
I did talk to Will, I think it was like week 1 or something along those lines, and his mindset coming into this year, he was going to go to Korea and play solo queue all year long. He was just going to, at least until summer, and try to come back and find a team, but the Mirage Alliance had reached out and he'd come in last second. So I definitely think those expectations not as lofty in the setup. But the Kai'Sa is locked in, something we've been seeing rise in priority here. Often locked in with the Nautilus, though, at least recently. Yeah.
And also something that has been one of Prismo's classic champions. As a major playmaking ADC, he loves being forward in the action. And, that bit him a couple of times in the last game. But this time around, we are going to be seeing the Senna Nautilus, a pretty classic matchup, going down there into the bottom side of the map. And
Jenkins.
They will have a lot of control down there. But there's Rumble also coming through for Jenkins. Puts a lot of pressure, right? We saw that the Gnar, I really liked it. It did a really good job creating pressure in the side lanes in order to put Alarm on the back foot. The rest of the team kind of crumbled around them, and this time coming in with the Ornn, the Bellows Breath, and the Flame Spitter kind of neutralize each other a lot because of how much percentage damage Ornn can do with it.
Alarm fine, putting on the tank duty hat. No big deal, Captain. We'll get the engages there. The amount of engage in CC that Mirage Alliance have in the first phase is pretty terrifying. I think finding some stability, at least in the composition, is really important for Team Liquid in the second phase. We do get the Jace banned away by Mirage Alliance, though.
Very good champion now, by the way. Very good champion. I did forget that Kai'Sa did receive a small buff so that the range on her ultimate is a little bit longer than it used to be, which is, it mostly just feels good more than anything else. Like, it just feels nice to have, but in this game, it is definitely going to be giving them a lot of opportunity because Ornn will put the Brittle as well as, Plasma on different characters for Kai'Sa to jump to in the backside. If you can blow up the Senna, Kai'Sa can absolutely do that very, very quickly.
I will say that the Rumble is one pick, but the fact that it's Jenkins Rumble, it's actually pretty terrifying. We'll see the matchup in its own right. I don't feel like this is a normal matchup we see in the meta here this year, but I'm excited to see it nonetheless. In the second phase, though, we get that respect ban again towards Keel, the Ivern banned away, as well as the Wukong and the Orianna were the bans for Team Liquid.
Oh, I'm liking this draft quite a bit coming out for Mirage Alliance because it's relatively straightforward, right? You have a lot of tools with crowd control that can get towards the backside of the map, get towards spawn, get towards roamer, and then with Kai'Sa, you're definitely an all-in composition, whereas Team Liquid Challengers, they have some tools, but it's actually really hard to use the equalizer against this composition because of how hyper-mobile a lot of the members of Mirage Alliance are. You have to be very, very patient, and Keel going with the Void Mommy, going to be coming in here with the Bel'Veth, and you're going to have a lot of opportunities to try and shut things down. But Team Liquid Challengers, they have shifted from a strictly front-to-back style to a team that really wants to snowball this game before things get out of control.
They have the Senna, obviously it's going to be scaling for them, but yeah, the Bel'Veth always presents a very peculiar moment in the games because there's a very specific play style, very specific timings, and if you can get that going, it looks really good. But if Bel'Veth is behind, it's very tough. Keel, I love to see his Bel'Veth coming back out, especially being able to see it once again in this year, something we haven't gotten to see from him yet, but it's also giving him a lot more of the resources here too. So refocusing on that jungle matchup, I feel like in the second game is oh so crucial if Team Liquid especially want to keep their head in this game in particular.
Feels like playing against a World Eaters comp here.
They just sort of read at you.
They all, or the orcs, they just wide, everybody's advanced in charge, and suddenly everything in the backline is like, wait, hold on, I did not think you could get this far. It is a little bit too much distance coming out, and Mirage Alliance, like the threat range that they have on Roamer and Spawn is insane.
Yeah.
They can go so far in order to actually go for all of these attacks, and it's going to be creating a lot of trouble. And normally when you have like this kind of overdive, you get really caught out if you do not get to your target, right? If Kim Down, Keel, and Jenkins can create enough space that Romer and Spawn can't get away, then the Mirage Alliance will just kind of get caught in no man's land. But we have been seeing that when the entire team is on the same page, Mirage Alliance have the hands to contend with some of the better teams in the league.
Well, we're into game 2. Make or break for Team Liquid Challengers. Only 3 series left, including this one for both these two teams to keep themselves out of the promotion tournament. Team Liquid Challengers versus Mirage Alliance. Game 2 kicks off now, and you got to spam in chat who you got. Is it MA for Mirage Alliance or TLC for Team Liquid Challengers?
I want to say Team Liquid Challengers because I'm pretty unashamedly a fan of the Team Liquid organization, but I think this is a kind of game. Get the ma down there in chat. It is a tough one here for Team Liquid Challengers to try and play. Jenkins also opting to go for the first strike up in the top lane in order to try and farm some gold off of Aloran, but he doesn't have the ignite. He doesn't have opportunities to try and get the kills in the top lane nearly as easily, and that's going to put them in a bit of a rough position. At the same time, Keel, if you pick Bel'Veth, you should be trying to go for aggressive plays basically right off the bat, but he looks like he's going to be playing to start at his own Raptors. And this is a composition that they want somebody to be strong in order to pull some attention away from Spawn and Romer.
And last game, at least, Romer had some pretty big moments. I think in this one, as Nohue, a little bit less priority there, depending on how the mid lane goes. I haven't seen the matchup into Ori itself, actually, so I'm very curious to see if Romer can put a halt on some of the mobility that RJS brings to the table. But we do have the same side starts for both junglers, so looks like we'll be partying up top or mid.
It's also farming Senna. I just realized that. Kim Down did go for the support item, so that changes the dynamic a lot in this lane. You scale faster with farming Senna than you do for what do you call it? Fasting. Yeah, fasting Senna, because you get the gold. You don't get the range nearly as quickly, but you do have the ability to buy, items that can go on hit relatively fast because you just have more money than you would have otherwise. However, it will mean that Kim Down is not as tanky. They're relying on him to just be a crowd control bot, which, I'm not the biggest fan of here, but at the same time, look at where Keel is going. He does see where Will is, and he's trying to get revenge for the missed smites around the grubbies.
That's what it is. Just a little bit of revenge from last game, but love to see these two guys go at it. Jenkins going to try to go for a bit of proxy farming there. Going to be harassed on the way out. Will was spotted there, so Jenkins just trying to get there to force him out of the jungle. The red buff going to be stolen away by Keel over Will.
Aha! And plus 18 gold as well coming in for Jenkins. Keel should be able to pick up this red buff because good pressure coming out from Romer and Jenkins. And now Aloran thinks Jenkins is by himself. I don't know why you think that.
Keel has this fight easy. They're going to try to get him back, though. Will has some good damage back on the level 3. He's going to have to burn the flash, though.
See, okay, that's one of the spots where you really wish you had the ignite. They definitely could have gotten a kill there if Jenkins had that, but Keel taking a lot of damage up front. Kim Down going to be getting some vision down. So it's overall really good pressure coming out from the side of Team Liquid Challengers. They're going to be taking away the red buff. They're going to take away the Krugs. And Will is going to have to go towards the bottom side where Kim Down is already trying to get some pressure.
Any advantage you can bring to the table for the Bel'Veth is oh so sweet. And any farming advantage is nice because the speed of clear just gets ridiculous with this champion. You do have a decent amount of pressure being provided by Romer, too, to enable the split Scuttle Crab take by both junglers.
Yeah, but look at how Team Liquid Challengers' bottom lane is operating. They're at least trying. They're asking, like, hey, do we want to try and attack this guy? No, it's a little bit too late. That's okay. But Will now moving in to try and rectify some of the issues that we were having earlier. Oh, Lauren? Okay.
Be all right. He didn't expect the amount of heat that was coming off the engine of Jenkins.
Yeah, I mean, he's alive, but, this lane position is terrible. You are actually in a really brutal position up here in the top side. Jenkins has created a bit of a freeze, but the fact that he has not backed away does mean that Aloran should be able to get the wave underneath the turret. So I would love to see Keel book a top lane right now, punish Aloran so he does not have the health in order to deny the freeze coming out from Jenkins. But Keel not going to be able to do that. Jenkins is going to be on his own up here in the top side.
Already gained for the bot lane of Mirage Lions just to get it back off there for Prismal, it seems. Dragon is spawning, and so are the Telegrubbies on the other side of the map. Both junglers on the bottom side, though, don't expect objective priority to be the name of the game right now.
No, I mean, it shouldn't be happening. And you see Jenkins, he's actually trying to go for a back up at the top side of the map, and you do see Alorum is able to get the wave underneath. This is why, like, you could have effectively removed Alorum from the game if you had sent Kill top lane instead of to go clean up his own Raptors. And so now Jenkins loses the dominant advantage that he had. He's still in a good position, but he could have been, like, in a game-endingly good position.
So it actually seems like both junglers want to path up towards top side. A reunion at the Grubbies, but should be Keel starting this one up with Will seeding them at least this first round of them.
Yeah, and because Keel is not yet level 6, not going to be getting mommy for him just quite yet. So still going to be in a good position, having a lot of extra money and all the experience that comes along with taking these down. You do still love that, but RJS, nah, not even going to be trying at this point. So Team Liquid Challengers pretty unashamedly just ahead across the board. Bottom lane still relatively even. It's because Keel has not been paying any attention to this side of the map just quite yet. And having no plays go through, except for the invade onto the red buff, you know, it's kind of a return to basics, but it's not necessarily the kind of Team Liquid thing that we were kind of seeing. So it is now a question of, can they win given this advantage already?
Yeah, I mean, it's at least a step in the right direction. Any lead is good for Team Liquid. If they were behind, it'd be a lot more terrifying. I do think Mirage Alliance are calmly waiting. They're patiently waiting for that level 6 mark, because that's when the combo of RJS and Will truly gets unlocked from mid lane. So they're literally just trying to farm up. Oh, or not. They're just going to go for the fight here. As Keel's able to dash out with that flash. Him down. Able to be a stalwart tank in the front line. RJS has an angle.
You got a really good angle. I'm a little bit surprised that Keel even tried to go for that at all, because he saw multiple people were right there, and as they back away, it's like, well, they do not have to go back to the turret. We did not see the wave get pushed in, and so the crab does go over, and Keel losing his flash, I mean, he's still fine. He's going to be in a position where he can play for the next set of grubs. He will be level 6 by then, so he can become, you know, mommy after that. But Team of the Challengers is definitely in a position where they still want to keep this ball rolling, because the mid game and you know, when RJS is on 1 to 2 items, when Prismal is on 1 to 2 items, that's when it becomes really, really scary for Spawn and Roamer in particular, because neither of them have any mobility.
Yeah, very true. We did just get level 6s, at least complete for both junglers. See if RJS wants to, immediately. They want to try to connect, but he's going to go back mid. I think as well, just the presence of Keel with the Noon Quiver. I think he was trying to take advantage of that in that fight, but realizing damage isn't going to give you more of a health bar. Yep. Will actually playing around this control ward here. They knew this control ward was there, and they do end up taking a brunt of damage onto Keel.
That's alright. He's got red buff. He's a jungler. He can jungle privilege his way back up. You see that instant, the on my way ping from Keel towards the opposing red buff. They have the timers over there. They have the priority in the mid lane, that priority in the top lane. We're going to see another set of pressure coming through from Keel. So great read from Keel on this so far in order to exacerbate some of the issues that we have been seeing across the board. Jenkins, once again, massively ahead of Alorum, and Roamer not going to have the same kind of crazy lead he had before, but still a good lead in order to try and push them later on into the game.
Looks like we're going to get the trade of objectives here finally. The Dragon being focused now by Will, realizing he probably lost the top side of his map, as Keel will end up clearing the red and those Chicky Nuggies. The Dragon spotted out being done, but the back was coming through. Spawn stops the back, meaning Kimdown stops his back, and the wave crashing from Mirage Alliance will secure this one for them.
Yeah, good stuff coming out from Dardoch too.
They're on their way.
Yeah, I think this should be Will still. Yeah, I mean, Keel and Roamer not able to go in. You would have an Ahri coming in behind you, and your bottom lane would be late to the fight. So, overall, like that call off from Team Liquid Challengers. What are you doing here, Dardoch? What's the plan?
Cooking.
He's cooking? What is he cooking? Cooking a back?
Grilled cheese?
All right, you know. Take it. You know, it doesn't need to be fancy. Just like wave your guild trees.
Exactly.
Get some butter in there.
Exactly. That's all you need. But then you could also make like a super fancy grilled cheese. Okay, well then now I want to talk about like what would each team's grilled cheese be? Mirage Alliance probably like spam. Spam grilled cheese.
Could you explain why spam?
No.
No.
No answer. What do you got for
No,
Team
no
Liquid?
further
What kind of grilled cheese are you making for Team Liquid?
I don't know. They feel like a provolone kind of team.
Bro, who makes a grilled cheese with provolone?
Team Liquid Challengers.
Team Liquid Challengers. All right, well.
Yeah, okay, but Spawn needs to get out of here. Being able to deny any targeting from Will is going to help out quite a bit, but we are still seeing that Prismal and Dardoch have been doing a good job down here in the bottom lane. It has been rather tough watching Spawn and Kim Down, who had made so many strides in their way of playing the laning phase, not necessarily being able to find a whole lot more out of that. But on the other side of the map, Keel does get mommy form here, going to be very powerful. And again, you're going to have both the Grubbies and the Fishies, and it's an incredibly powerful combination to get both Twitch Chat and Fish in the same team.
Seems like a recipe
Twitch
for
Chat
disaster.
fears me, Fish want me. Is that how that goes?
Yeah, something like that. 3 plates have gone down to
Oh,
Mirage
come
on
on!
the bottom side, and Kim Down walks right up to the gank. TP coming down now. Oh, Ornhorn, he stops it! And now it's just the 3v3. Keel coming around, though, but he does have that mommy form you were so talking about. Dawning Shadow comes across, but the Magnet Storm bringing him in, and First Blood ends up going to Mirage Alliance. They're trying to take down Keel after, but he's got the resets now, too, and Romer has joined. TP very late. RJS coming in now, but I don't know if he can get it. Kim Down, they get him in the end, and RJS going to use his way out of there. The Prismal gets taken out in the end, and a double kill to Romer. As he can try to chase this one down, you still have one more charge of the Spirit Rush at Team Liquid with a scrappy fight, and bot side come out on top.
I mean, it ends up working out, but like, that was sloppy coming out for Team Liquid Challengers. They end up going in a position where Keel is rushing. He's going as fast as he can to be able to join the fight, and he gets there towards the end. He does do something kind of cute in that fight as well, but I mean, Kim Down's like, come on, dude, you know they're in there. You are still Nautilus. You're not tanky enough, and he just ends up losing a lot of his HP for free. And by the time the re-engage actually starts, you now put Spawn in a position where he can get jumped on right away. That's a lot of damage and a lot of souls that he's not going to be able to grab. And when the kill actually gets here and Romer's actually able to join the fight, it's, they still come out ahead, but they could have had a much better fight if they were a bit more patient. I do want to praise Keel for holding off on getting the ascended form by like killing somebody and then getting another reset off of that, waiting for the teleport to come through, so he was going to do the damage on arrival. That was cute, but it's one of those things where it's like, back to fundamentals, guys.
The beneficiaries of all of that, the mid laners. Romer and RJS coming away with some kills. Way with that first item completion, as well as the Lich Bane for RJS there, and we'll start seeing a potential move on the map a lot more frequently from Dardoch and Kim Down.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how the future teleports go as well. What?
There's a lot of
what
damage.
will happen?
I mean, Dardoch just took like almost half his health for one ability from Romer.
Yeah, no, it happens.
It's the caster's companion,
Yeah, you're playing a support. You deserve it,
What a weird
how it
name
works.
for an item, by the way. Caster's companion.
Oh, is it not Luden's companion?
Caster's companion. This is what it has on Wikipedia. Luden's companion, Caster's companion, same thing. Mage's best friend. Get yours today. Is it Joshi?
It's my best friend.
No.
But either way, sorry to break this news to you, but anyway, we have another dragon spawning here in about 40 seconds, and Team Liquid, they are still in a... No way.
Oh, Keel's just gone? Okay. Well, nothing to see here. Any Hell Divers will be very excited for that one. Oh, Spiraling Despair is going to be used. Okay, we just get 2 kills. Now Romer's getting engaged on. It's just like dominoes. Here comes Alorum right onto him, but he goes for the fadeaway. And a shutdown goes to Mirage Alliance. Team Liquid are dusted off of the map.
I don't really know what to say. Like that's the kind of play that we should be expecting more of from teams in Challengers League, right? Keel going in. Like, you have no reason to think he's alone in that play, and like best case scenario, you get a ward. All right, he's still able to leave, and then Dardoch dying immediately afterwards. It's just like, what do we fight? Why do we think these are picks? There's the kind of thing where these are both teams where there's enough veterancy on both of them that we should be not expecting. We should be demanding more from these players. this is a very unusual position, and it's part of why I think we haven't been seeing the success from either of these teams that we were kind of hoping to. I am really looking at a spot now where, like, Mirage Alliance, because they thrive in this chaos a little bit more, they look like they're actually favorites in this series at this point, Mazel.
They do, and they have 2 dragons to speak of. Yes, the other pit has been fully controlled by Team Liquid Challengers,
which is good.
I think with the Hex Soul, you'll take that for Mirage Alliance, as I think some things going back and forth, as we would expect, but the biggest thing now is looking at what is coming next for Keel and Will. Again, our big spotlights here, and a lot of the drivers for these teams so far. And right now, Keel is starting to clear up. He won't have much to go for, so maybe Team Liquid looking for a play.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing now is it's very difficult for Team Liquid to make plays proactively because it is so easy for Mirage Alliance to fall back in charge. You just say, hey, we're going to be going for spawn. We're going to be trying to hit Roamer. We're going to be teleporting RJS top lane in order to stop any movement up there. But it is so easy for RJS to just call a target, right? That's what I love about this composition. You say a name, and that person might die. But now Jenkins...
Did he not see him go in there? He's getting chased down now. Does have the Spirit Rush. That one was a little bit short of a rush. Equalizer did come out because Mirage Alliance was coming down for a gank. As we see Keel, the driver there. Oh my god, that's a lot of... Oh my god, there's a swarm in bot lane. Jenkins just got murdered in topside. Dardoch gonna get a kill back.
But bottom lane,
give the kill.
The fishies!
The Tyranids have taken over. Summoner's Rift. Oh my god. What are you gonna do, Alorum? Oh my gosh. There's so many.
There's so many.
That's so ridiculous.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely. I did not know. I think every single time one of the little guys from the Twitch chatters died, they got turned into a fish, which is not an expectation I expected to be seeing coming into this one. That just made it so easy to pick that up. And so, great turnaround from Team Liquid for that one. I like the idea for Mirage Alliance, but because Will doesn't land the Q initially, not able to get Prismal in, not able to get the damage right off the bat, and that is what allows Jenkins to turn that one around and find a kill going right on back the other direction. So it is still a position where most of the plays from both teams are getting turned around because they're reaching very far in order to try and make some of these things happen. And that's one of the things where, again, I want to see a return to fundamentals for both of these teams because Spawn, I would love a soul check if we could get it relatively soon. He is going to be a pretty significant threat for damage as RJS takes an ult.
Dardoch going to get ulted as well here. Equalizer over the top by Jenkins. Not much else going to come here. RJS very low. Lorem going to use his Unstoppable to get out of that route. I think, interestingly enough, nothing else happens here. The soul count is 28, so not too high.
Pretty low. I mean, it is farming Senna, so you do not get nearly as many going out of the, when you're actually lasting the minions yourself.
Oh, Jenkins.
Ow.
Get the Orin Horn popped over the side, and here comes the Flame Spitter to fight back on a Will, but they have way too much sustain, way too much damage, and Will gets the kill.
I mean, honestly, if I was Jenkins, I would not expect people there, but RGS should know people are here. They, will spot out Will or Keel as they move towards the top side of the map, and
Oh, Prismal! He got that item spike, and he uses it well! The Killer Instinct alive and well in the ADC for Mirage Alliance.
The number of isolated deaths in this game is crazy. It is absolutely insane. People are getting caught everywhere across the map, and luckily for Team Liquid Challengers, it is just the kills. It doesn't look as though any structures are likely to go down, and they will be alive for this upcoming Dragon fight, but it means that they're not on the map right now to fix their waves. And again, Mirage Alliance has been thriving in this chaos. The one thing that we gotta check is what ultimate will still be available for Mirage Alliance, because now Spawn, no cleanse, no flash, he is public enemy number 1. They can kill him so quickly by Mirage Alliance.
I do want to point out some of the item completions here. We didn't really focus on it, but the Eclipse was the first item for Prismal there. So trying to get... I think Kim Down did not want to take that. Equalizer goes through as well. They're going to collapse onto Dardoch, and he's just already gone. Crypt Bloom goes wild for Jenkins. As RJS has TP, now it is an unmanned fight from Mirage Alliance.
Yeah, RJS bringing the teleport as well to try and get there quickly. It ends up being a bait and counter bait from Kim Down, but now they're out of position for this, and Alorum
and the rest of Mirage Alliance are way overextended, but Team Liquid not able to capitalize just yet. The
Charm.
charm comes through on the kill. Alorum's just getting run down here. We'll have the speed up for all of Team Liquid there through the scuttle
and the Baron.
And it's going to be a dead Ornn as Alorum goes down straight into it. And I do hear that we unfortunately will have a pause coming up quickly here soon.
All right, and it looks like there it is. I'm a little bit surprised Team Liquid Challengers, they're in a perfect position to try and go for the Baron there. But again, the number of like ISO deaths we're seeing is crazy this game.
Yeah.
Right, I do have to say that one felt like a bait and a counter bait, right? It looked as though Mirage Alliance was trying to bait Kim Down in, and then Kim Down goes for the bait, and it's like, aha, I was fooling you the whole time. I had everybody right here in this bush behind me. So, you know, I will give Team Liquid and Mirage Alliance some more credit on that one, but it is definitely, hey, this is the first time I actually feel like I agree with like some of the emos that we throw down. We're just suffering. I wonder whose fire alarm is going off this time, because that does seem to be the classic thing coming here from
Fire
Challengers League.
alarm, it could be, what are the other outcomes that it could possibly be? Do you want to just go wild?
I
with
didn't.
It could be like,
I guess it could be an interaction that we haven't yet seen on screen.
Could be.
Yeah, because sometimes those do happen. Anyway,
keep
we'll
your
find
eyes
out.
open.
Find out relatively soon. But still, as we do look at this one, it's hard. Like whenever I see games that I used to play in like my own rec league games, where games like this started happening, and again, these guys are way better. But when you just start seeing people get picked off like all over the place, in my experience, it's usually because people have stopped talking, right? And that is disaster for a team if that is actually what's happening. And I actually believe that when you have teams like kind of like out of it or just like not coordinating quite as well, Mirage Alliance are favored in a lot of those games because they don't. You're going to get Dardoch, you're going to get RJS, who are going to be loud. They're going to be talking. Prismal is going to be asking for things, and you know, as somebody who has hung out with Prismal at like karaoke and things, that guy is absolutely going to be taking full control whenever there is any lull time in some of the communication. So if nobody's talking, you just have one person going for it, Mirage Alliance are going to have the composition that is going to be straightforward. They're going to be able to pick a single target, they're going to yell a name, and they can't go down.
You saw coming back into it that Team Liquid did not go for the Baron. They went straight for that Dragon to stop the stacking from Mirage Alliance at least. And I think that's a pretty good saving grace for them, right? You're still playing towards your win condition. As long as you have an advantage and you're going to the late game, I feel like you have some say in this game for Team Liquid.
Yeah. The game is definitely not over. It's just tough, right? Because you don't have a lot of control over when fights start. Or the same ability to just focus down a single target in the way that Mirage Alliance do. And so I would love to see more plays from Kim Down. One of the things he got way better at over 2023, and we've seen a little bit of it this year, is his willingness to stand in off angles in order to go for some of these flanks. And now they're just trying to take a fight.
Kim Down gonna pop the depth charge there. There comes that Void Seeker from Prisma. Did have a chunk of his health taken away. So won't be able to hit that one. It is Mirage Alliance who actually force a lot of the vision out of this top side of the map.
Yeah, and that is really good. That is something that they can do because they have, again, the ability to turn so quickly. And now that Alorum is around now, it is mostly important that Alorum gets to level 15 this game, right? Because you want to make sure that you can get items onto RJS and Prismal in particular when you start getting those levels. And so I want to see Alorum in a side lane a little bit longer in order to start picking those up and make sure that he can buff up his teammates very effectively.
Crazy. We're almost getting the third item for Prismal. I think slowly but surely he's becoming the difference maker. Here comes the Ornn onto multiple members, but Jenkins already gone. Means that the follow-up continues. And we were talking about the chase down that Mirage Alliance have. They're trying to chase down kill, but RJS is a bit overextended now. Into the spiraling despair he goes, losing a ton of his health. Mirage Alliance, they do come away with one.
I've lost fights in that exact same corridor plenty of times. You have the Ornn, the bowling pins go through, and it's like, hey, we're going to take down everyone. Absolutely huge ultimate from Alorum. But they're actually going to be losing this in the mid lane, because like you said, RJS went too far afterwards. And the Grubbies, Twitch chat, you know, they run in, they're able to get a little bit of damage as well. But Mirage Alliance ends up being okay for them, but we did not get to see, because just as the corridor was helping them, for the Ultimate from Alorum, it meant that it was really hard for them to get to Spawn or Roamer in that last fight, and Spawn will have Flash up for the next one.
We did get Titanic Hydra completed for Keel, so upping the ante and sustainability that he has. Also, Lord Dom's second item for Spawn on the Senna.
He knows he's got to be hitting the Ornn and the Rel for a lot of this game. Even the Vi will have quite a bit more HP than he does, and so you get a lot of value on that in this game. So, with all this said, I'm really looking towards the next Dragon as an opportunity for Mirage Alliance to try and get something done. And we got to go back to Will, because he has the easiest crowd control to land. He's the one who's going to be setting up for most of the different players. But the biggest counterplay is Spawn. With this mist that he can throw up and make himself untargetable, we have to watch his positioning with a very critical eye during the next fight, because if he can prevent Will from getting into him, if he can force the fight to go for a little while before he ends up going in for any of these auto attacks, he can dictate how effectively Mirage Alliance can go for him. But Spawn's been playing a lot more aggressively. It feels as though something that he has almost forgotten a little bit in some of the previous games.
See Lorm getting engaged on. The TP's coming down now as well. Lorm's going to go unstoppable, but the slow down from the green smite is going to burn his flash. TP was in response from RJS. Both teams, they're just fishing, and I love it.
Yeah, lots of little opportunities back and forth, and Mirage Alliance, I love this from RJS, gets a good charm.
The charm on a Roamer. Lorm's going to pop the ulti. Depth charge goes through on a Will here, though, but the Spiraling Despair kills Dardo with Spawn a toe. Now Lorm gets caught under tower. They still haven't killed the tower, and Mirage Alliance are killing themselves upon the base of TLC.
Wow, the tower living with just a little bit of HP. Huge win coming through for Team Liquid. And Spawn, uh-oh.
Almost goes down. Spirit Rush is popped by RJS.
Wow, I mean, both Spawn and Roamer walking away from that fight alive and with their flashes is bad news for Mirage, because now Team Liquid Challengers, they're the ones who are going to be starting up the Baron, and RJS and Prismal don't have the mobility to try and stop this.
TP's coming down as well from Roamer. This will be a Baron secured for Team Liquid Challengers. The fight does continue, though, on the other side of the map. The Dragon is spawning, and Mirage Alliance will finally get that turret as the Rally Cry Baron buff goes over to Team Liquid.
A small lead continues to be built up for Team Liquid Challengers, but Mirage Alliance, like you were calling out, because they are still here on the map, they can cheat tempo a little bit, but this will give Team Liquid Challengers an opportunity to push really aggressively on the map, because they don't have anything distracting them at all anywhere that they would have to go to instead of just pushing out these waves. Now that Team Liquid knows that, it looks as though they're going to be trying to push in either the mid lane or the bottom lane. Heal should have bunch of fishies to help them push wherever they go, and so the longer that Heal can stay in a single lane and build up those fish, it's going to help out a huge amount for the upcoming push.
Yeah, very true. And just utilizing that, it's what gives this unique style to the Bel'Veth compositions. We are starting to get the Ornhorn items, the ornaments, if you will, coming through. The Eclipse has been upgraded, as well as the
That one's called Syzygy, or it used to be. I don't know if it still is.
And now that continuation of the scaling is the conversation from Mirage Alliance, because they have a swarm being developed on bottom side right now by Team Liquid.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of the fish missed out on the Baron buff there, but you still have, every single time any minion dies here, you get another fish coming through. It's a lot of opportunities. Uh-oh, Kimdon took a lot of damage.
He did. I don't know if they have the engage potential here, but Keel is front and center. Spawn getting the mist out there. RJS has an angle here. Roamer trying to spot him out on the side there as well. The tower does go down, and now Keel goes forward. Keel is tanking up a storm right now, as now Ornhorn coming down to dissuade the fight from Team Liquid. Only going to hit a couple members, and the Void goes wide. Won't see Team Liquid back off because they want the in-hit.
Yeah, we're not seeing Mirage Alliance, like, they're not pulling the trigger. They're not being the ones dictating the engage. Instead, it has been Team Liquid Challengers ready to just throw down, and the Fishies doing a really big job in helping them take down all of these structures. So they open at the bottom side inhibitor. They still have about a minute of the Baron buff, so they can go towards the top side and create another big siege again.
They just have to keep utilizing that. I mean, that's the thing, is anytime you see a Bel'Veth comp, if they're not doing this, that's when things go wrong, right? But if you're utilizing the base mechanics of the champion in its own right, I think it's super important to keep the pressure up here for Team Liquid. As we said, they are in a lead. They're feeling fine. The fishes are swimming around.
Ooh,
now Keel He's going forward. Dardoch had an angle, but not going to go for it yet, and the siege continues.
Yeah, they still have 30 more seconds. That's a big wave there. They can look towards RJS as well. Instead, they're just going to take away everything here on the top side of the map, and Alorum still with the ultimate down, not going to be able to pull the trigger. Still only level 14, needs one more level to give RJS another upgraded item at the same time. RJS, sneaky, sneaky.
This is not a tanky Jenkins. Prismal almost gets caught in mid. They're going to go ahead and pop it top side. Jenkins pops the Flame Spitter and pulls Mirage Alliance off. They were a little bit afraid of the collapse that was coming through from Team Liquid.
Makes sense. I mean, you end up giving up a decent amount there, but the gold lead, I mean, Mirage Alliance have won team fights this series with a larger gold deficit than this. It's still something that they can do, and I really want to see this third item come out for RGS. They will do a lot of damage as soon as they finish their next item. It looks like as though they're going towards a Void Staff. And you know that Prismal will have a ton of damage as well at really long ranges because they are going for a very heavy Magic Pen style of build. They can play for the Hextech Soul, and it becomes a massive problem for everyone on Team Liquid Challengers when they are permanently slowed.
It just feels like we're watching two giant land masses just crush against each other here. Team Liquid with a very specific game plan moving forward, but Mirage Alliance not backing down, realizing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and it might not just be a train. You can actually have that scaling late game where you can find Prismal a big fight, and he's really able to pump the damage. He's on those 3.5 item spikes now, as well as a majority of other members.
Yeah, and it's interesting to watch this game because it, you know, it's not necessarily Prismal making a lot of big plays. He did find that one pick onto spawn way earlier in the game, but after that, it's mostly just been relatively smart positioning, his willingness to just take fights that are relatively long-term, and it's something where you know he's this big playmaking AD carry. That's how he loves to play the game. It's how he's always loved to play, but he's not necessarily putting himself in spots where he is easy to attack, like has been one of his weaknesses in the past.
45 seconds for a Dragon. A monumental moment for Will and Mirage Alliance if they can get it, but can also seed it and buy a little bit more time for themselves. Team Liquid moving mid lane. They will keep priority there. RJS was looking for a flame.
Yeah, takes a bit of damage for his troubles as well, but it is going to be Alarm hitting a level 15. We'll need to see. It looks like he's already done it on the Luden's Companion. I don't know what that one's called when they level it up, but they still have lots of opportunities to move in. Now, Mirage Alliance can come from multiple different angles. You see that they're playing on 3 different angles. The Force of Arms coming through, but now Team Liquid Challengers, because they're grouped up so effectively, they have an opportunity to try and play and pick which one of the pieces of Mirage Alliance they actually want to go for. It's not even going to be a contest for Mirage Alliance.
And there's nothing else on this other side of the map, so they can't force it. They're just going to buy themselves some time. A second Hex Dragon gotten by Team Liquid Challengers. They get all 4. That's even more terrifying, but you expect that Mirage Alliance are holding steady now. We did get that third item, Wits In, completed for Spawn, too.
And there should be an item completion for Prismal. He's spending a lot of time sitting on the fountain here. The Void Staff must be done, you would expect. But it is going to be a lot of damage. Ah, right. That's the other thing that you can build. This is a very interesting position, because now Team Liquid, they can prey on Will. That's a lot of damage coming out from Jenkins. Now that he has the Rabadons completed. Wait, RJS is here, huh?
Oh, he didn't have the scanner. He gets it at the end, and he just outright gets Roamer. The team is on their way here. I don't know if they can get him, though, and there's the Spirit Rush back out. He doesn't have an exit, though, and RJS going to get slowed down. Keel goes over, and it should just go down. A shutdown ends up going to Keel.
Yeah, that's a lot of money coming through. But it's interesting. The question is, who provides more in these fights? Is RGS or Roamer? It's really tough to tell. The fact that there's no equalizer left should mean that Mirage Alliance should feel a little bit more comfortable trying to actually make one of these plays happen, but they're the ones giving ground right now.
It's giving ground. I don't know.
Slay.
It doesn't work. Anyways, we're looking back at this. Alorum, the constant defender of this inhib, and it looks like the battle will be won once again by the stalwart man. Now, and back in the fan pit, Dardoch does have to use his crash down out of there. It was a little dicey, but does make it out alive. And the continued focus to the Baron goes Team Liquid.
Yeah, I mean, Keel's hitting it. He is definitely in a position where he can do by himself, right? He's not taking a lot of damage now. Team Liquid Challengers in full control, and Mirage Alliance realizing too late that this is happening.
They are not going to be even close as they realize there's vision. Kim Down could be looking. If they had committed, they probably had an angle, but they do not, and they will not. As Baron buff acquired the Rally Cry buff all over Team Liquid, but Dardoch wants to play. Here comes everybody as the Crypt Bloom starts working. Keel's in. Keel's getting reset, and Keel's doing work. You got to watch this, man, as now Will goes in on the back. They do end up getting a double kill for Prismal, but Keel has gotten reset after reset, and he's the most terrifying menace in this game.
Prismal barely surviving that one. Needs to be very careful.
Oh, they spot him out. Prismal.
Run!
You can't be greedy like that, man. As he just gets shut down. Keel's looking for more. He goes over the wall. RJS is now the target, and he's been set sights. A double kill for the jungler of Team Liquid.
Oh my gosh, so much coming through, and he gets the fish again. He's got the Baron buff. This should be a lot of the structures for Mirage Alliance going down here in a sec. Because look at the slappy fish is going. It's going hard. And Ornn and Rel are not going to do anything to stop this whatsoever. Look at how many minions are here to take this down. Yes, they can try and stop Spawn, but the teleport from Jenkins is coming.
The fact that Keel waited to go in for so long, knew that Mirage Alliance were full committing to the fight, and this cleaned house afterwards. The swarm has come for Mirage Alliance, and a Game 3 is on the horizon as Team Liquid will bring it back from the brink and push us all the way as Keel is going in more. He's getting more resets. Now Prismal does some work, though, and gets a shutdown. I think the minions might be enough, though. They're all focusing the Nexus, and that's it. Team Liquid tie us up 1-1.
A huge play from Keel at the very end of that game saves it. It looked as though Mirage Alliance could have been able to take it, and great syncing up coming in from Will and RJS almost kept that game going. But, like you said, I mean, Keel finds multiple members. At the very end, he finds Prismal going for the red buff, being a little bit greedy there. He finds RJS immediately after that, and those 2 solo kills that he finds means that he has the freedom to just push the top lane all the way to victory.
We're going to take a look at that last fight as well. The setup was there. I mean, Keel was the first one that started this immediately, so the call was all in his fault.
Yeah, I mean, we see this going onto Jenkins, and killing him before the equalizer goes down, before he can pop Zonios or anything like that is a big deal. But because everybody commits over here, it does mean that Keel, I mean, he is super tanky. He has had a lot of time to scale. And then you just look at the other side where, like, Spawn hasn't really been doing anything. It's just Keel and Roamer trying to play around. But then, almost getting the pick off from Prismal. They know he's over here. They know he's super low. And you just don't know that he's coming over the wall. He's able to pop that because he does have the ultimate form. And you can't kill him from this position, right? He is way too tanky. He does too much damage too quickly. And, of course, like, it's just too strong. Can't kill him. So, very good stuff coming through from Keel at the very end to make sure this game and this series goes to a Game 3.
Wouldn't have it any other way. It's the bottom of the table, but it's oh so important. Mirage Alliance, Team Liquid Challengers going at it. We'll be back for Game 3.
Introducing the new foot-long sidekicks at Subway. Try the warm and delicious foot-long cookie, foot-long pretzel, or foot-long churro.
Before this guy won this, he actually won this. And now these guys, they're trying to do the same.
He's looking for the killer instinct. He's going in. He finds 2. He finds 3.
Basu, you are utterly ridiculous. This guy is also trying to do what that guy did. And he didn't win one of those, but he did win this.
Welcome to the new era. A toast to our champions, Disguise.
This guy played one split of LCS and then made semis at Worlds.
It's been a long journey, but I'm happy to be here now.
He's always been really good, but he finally made the comeback. Oh, and he did it with this guy. This guy won Academy, and he had some dreams.
I want to be like the best NA mid laner to go to Worlds, right?
Dokla, however, very, very low. Reinforced by the Senna ultimate, and the Pop Blossom is so awesome!
This kid? Yeah, this kid. He actually didn't win an Academy, but a lot of people thought he was good, and boy, were they right. This guy made Worlds his very first year as a player. It took him a while to get back. He even played with this kid. But then, they did all of this together.
Nobody thought they'd win win LCS. Nobody thought they'd beat G2. It's time to change your mind.
You know all of these names, but do you know the names of who's next? The future of the LCS starts right after the LCS. Welcome to Challengers.